Hello and welcome to the Tweetcore Radio Hour. I'm your host, Mark Schuster, and I invite you to join me on my ongoing quest to seek out great new music, independent artists that we discover together in the far reaches of the social media universe.
So, would you say, and I'm going to kind of take it back to like the scene and stuff like that, and you know, you host a radio program, you are in contact with like so much new indie music. Have you felt like that has changed your approach? Have you felt like the influence is creeping in? What would you say the effect of like being kind of enmeshed in an online scene has affected the way you do music?
It's interesting because I think it's not so much in terms of style, because I think one of the cool things about our scene is that everybody brings their own style to the scene. And
right.
As a result, the thing that we make, the music that we create, we're not all working on a song together, but when you listen to an hour of the Tweetcore Radio Hour, you're hearing just, these are all the different cool things music can do. And in that respect, I feel like, wow, yeah, music can do so many cool things and go in so many cool directions. That inspires me to think, okay, what different directions can I take my own music in? How can I go in, say, a pop punk style direction in the vein of, say, Scoopski or Fuzz Ruckus? Or how can I be a little more progressive in, say, the style of someone like Joe Peacock? Or can I be more rootsy in the style of the La La Let's? You know, all of those things are kind of informing in my own head different touches, different directions I can take music in, while still kind of basically sounding like myself.
Right. So that's, yeah. I mean, and I feel like there's also, just at least from mine, like that as everyone kind of keeps working on what they're doing, especially like in terms of like the production game, like it pushes you to want to do, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say, competition doesn't feel at all accurate.
Right.
But there is definitely a sense of like, I don't know, I remember hearing about like, you know, like when like the Beatles heard Good Vibrations, you know, like in Pet Sounds, and they were just like, or maybe it's the other way around, or they heard Sgt. Pepper's, one of those ways. My mind is definitely not keeping those kinds of things in the same way. I don't know if it's just always trying to go for right to be in the moment. I'm forgetting the past, but you know that it pushed them to try to push the sonic landscape and the barriers a little bit. Do you feel like that happens a little bit?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I'll hear something somebody's done and I'm just like, oh, wow, that was a really good sound. I wonder how they got that sound. I mean, definitely, there was one I was listening to. Oh, Grim 17, okay. I believe it was. And there's just a snare drum sound on one of their tracks, and it's like chunky and I don't know if it was like highly compressed, but I heard that and I was just like, I want to make a sound like that. You know, I want to at least figure out how to make that sound, even if I don't end up using it on a track, just because right. it's almost like an intellectual challenge. And similarly, I was listening to the new one from Scoopski, Double.
You're right.
And that drum sound inspired the drum sound for All the Hairy Boys. You know, because it's that kind of stompy, clappy, kind of like boom, boom, bap, boom, bap. Right. And I was like, oh, wow, that's like right in my wheelhouse. Like, I love doing that. Like you were saying, I love doing that bouncy kind of thing. So that's what I just really locked into on that one.
Yeah, Double is definitely a very bouncy track.
Yeah.
a quiz on you. It turns out I knew nothing, now my brain is feeling blue.
Two-headed snake, who do you think that you're fooling? If you get tangled up, you'll be undoing.
Tell me again, what were the rules? They seem a little different for you. Am I seeing double or just double standard? Is the message getting through? I'm singing these words loud and true. When you're hearing double, you won't have an answer.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach is not the person you were trying to reach.
I put my hand out so many times it's starting to go numb. I've got a case of carpal tunnel caused by overarching trust. And when I woke up this morning, I knew that something else was wrong. The mirror showed a sea of red and what's left of my tongue.
Two-headed snake, please think about what you're doing. When hunger kicks in, you might end up self-consuming.
Tell me again, what were the rules? They seem a little different for you. Am I seeing double or just double standard? Is the message getting through? I'm singing these words loud and true. When you're hearing double, you won't have an answer. Tell me the rules, 'cause they seem a little different for you. Tell me the rules, 'cause I can bend and break them to you. No, all I needed was some honesty and some loyalty. But now it's better off to let it be. Tell me again, what were the rules? They seem a little different for you. Am I seeing double or just double standard? Is the message getting through? I'm singing these words loud and true. When you're hearing double, you won't have an answer. Ba, 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 ba,
One thing about being in a scene is it makes you aware of having an audience, which is interesting because there's always a temptation to say something like, well, I make music for myself. But that's not who I make music for. I mean, I do get a lot of satisfaction from making music, but I also feel like if I'm not aware of writing something for someone else, and it doesn't have to be a mass audience, it doesn't have to be the sense of I'm trying to write a hit, but there needs to be this sense of the point of music, the point of all this is to communicate something, often to communicate something at an emotional level. And being part of a scene connects you to other people. And it also makes you more aware, at least it makes me more aware of this sense of, all right, I'm part of a community, and what I want to do is make music that's going to make maybe not even everyone in that community, the couple people in that community say, hey, I like that sound. I like that song. That's a pretty cool tune. That song meant something to me. And it doesn't even have to be that song's the song I'm going to play for the rest of my life, and it'll be the song we play at my wedding or my funeral or whatever. But just, oh, their ears perked up, and for a moment, their day was brighter because of something I created.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's, I mean, if you think back, right, on like all the albums that you've listened to in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, how many songs did you just listen to a couple times? But like when you heard it, you were like, yeah, oh yeah, at the moment, that's right. I mean, I think we all strive for this idea of trying to write something that just like, I guess, resonates some universal truth, or makes people want to feel a certain way all the time, that they want to like play it over and over again. But that's not the only value in music. I probably listened to Black Star 3 times.
Okay, yeah.
By David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an album that I stick on for, I'm just gonna hang out around the house and
yeah.
put on Black Star. No, that's not how it works. But there's still a lot of value in that piece of music, even listening to it once or twice.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to your point about making that music for that one or two, hopefully more, but
Yeah.
decide that.
Yeah, that sense of resonance. I resonate with this music. There's a harmonic string in me that resonates with a harmonic string in somebody else.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Cool. So then, like, in terms of like one of our favorite topics of conversation, mixing, is there a particular aspect of mixing right now that you're just kind of like, whoa, like this is the coolest thing ever? I'm so like, because I'm like that, I love, I don't know, like a good compressor.
Yeah, no, and I think one of the reasons you and I hit it off really well, just really early on when we just started emailing each other, we would have really specific, detailed answers about how to get a certain sound or like what a mix needed. I recall once I may have even said to you, just add a shaker in there to give it a little energy or something like that. That kind of thing is what really draws me to mixing now. The fact that we can experiment and the fact that we don't have to rent some massive studio to do that experimentation. We can just on our own time, on our laptop, say, all right, let's talk a little bit about release time on a compressor. And what if I just adjust it this little bit? What if I make this minor adjustment? What if I use a multi-band compressor and sidechain the vocal to just a narrow band of the compression? It's that kind of thing that in a previous era, that would have been impossible to figure out unless you owned the studio. Yeah.
You needed a big 32 channel, Neve board.
Yeah. And everything that we have now as plugins, you would need at least one of those things. But we have, because it's software, something that could be $1,000 compressor that you would need to buy 8 of if you had an 8-channel mixer or something like that. We just copy it and put it into another channel in the DAW and we're good to go. And that's the kind of thing. Like, we can do pretty much anything that we want to do because of technology.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been learning Reaper.
Yeah,
and has folders in it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's so cool. As opposed to doing buses.
Ah, I see.
So like you can start a folder and like say you have your drums, and like you just put the drum folder on the top, boom, and then you drag everything into that, offsets it, and like it works just like a bus, except you don't have to do sends.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but like that stuff's so cool because that's like technology right there, right? Like,
yeah. Simplifying everything.
Exactly. I don't have to take chords and go like, okay, and I want it to go here to here to here, and like,
oh yeah. I mean, that's the kind of thing even in my own humble little studio, I do everything I can to not have chords all over the place.
Oh man.
And even then, just plugging in a guitar is just like, oh man, now I have this cable. And I've even taken to using those kind of coiled guitar cables, just so that when I'm done using it, it just kind of snaps back to where it was, so that it's not snaking across my floor all the time. And I know I'm going to trip one day, you know, that kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. I always remember when I would go into studios before too, and they would and we're setting up a session or something like that. And they're sitting there for like an hour just going like this cable to here. No, this one to here. And I'm just like going, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
What is the point of all of this?
Right. And I wonder too if there's some degree of fetishization of a lot of the older equipment in the sense of, you know, I love reading Tape Op magazine.
Oh, yeah.
But I also get the sense sometimes its major purpose is to sell equipment. So,
yeah.
You know, so it's
I got my issue in the mail yesterday,
mm-hmm.
and it's free.
Yeah, right.
It's because of the ads.
Exactly. Yeah, and I love it. Yeah, and I don't begrudge them at all. But at the same time, and sometimes it's almost like a fishing lure. You know, I'm just like the fish looking at the shiny object. Like, ooh, that's a cool microphone. Like, yeah, I'm going to buy a $2,000 microphone. Right. You know.
Yeah.
I read the reviews, but I'm still just like, oh, wow, that compressor does that? Oh, that sounds like what the compressor on my Mac does. So I think I'm good.
Yeah. And it's funny because like it doesn't, I guess if you're going for like a specific copying of a certain thing, then maybe that's important.
Yeah.
But I've just never found like the choice of a mic to be kind of the make or break of a sound.
Yeah. If that's the thing that you think is stopping your song from reaching people, then you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah. I do think you need to get pretty good at doing basic mixing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I am definitely, you know, I'm in the process of remixing like a lot of the stuff, and because I'll hear what I did and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that could be a lot better.
Yeah, no, I have the same experience quite a bit when I listen to stuff I was making 5 years ago. Say it's like, oh, okay, I could see what I was trying to do, and now I know how I would do it better.
Well, thank you for your time today, Mark. I appreciate you interviewing.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to be on your show.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, did I tell you I found a Fender bass cabinet?
I saw the picture of it. How yeah.
It was funny. I was my wife Carrie and I were out for a walk with our dog, and just from a distance I just see it just looks like this box that someone has out on their curb. And I was like, that box looks like it's covered in Tolex. You know, I mean, it has that kind of faux leather finish. I was like, oh, that almost looks like it could be an amp or something. And so we get there and I'm just like, oh, wait, this is, see the Fender logo on there. It has the silver face. And it looks like it's a combo amp, but they ripped out the chassis, and so there's no actual amplifier in there, but it's just the speaker and the wire sticking out the back. And, it's kind of stripped, like there's like the handles missing. So it made it very difficult to carry home, but it was really heavy because it's like, it's at least a 12-inch speaker. It might even be 15. I mean, it's a big unit there. And since
the old ones weighed a ton.
Oh, God.
Not like today, where like I love that my speakers don't weigh. You can carry both of them.
Yeah. And this one definitely weighs a ton. I mean, this would just be like one piece. Like if you're only bringing one piece of gear to the gig, this would be okay. But if you're bringing a lot, it's like, I think I'll leave that amp at home, which might also account for why they were getting rid of it.
Yeah. I wonder how many big, giant, old amps are going to end up on the side of the road.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had one of my musical regrets is I had this, I think it was like a 200 watt 4x10 amplifier. And it was really cool. It was by this company called Casino, and it was like spelled with a K. And it was
Yeah, I think I remember those.
yeah, and it was huge though because it had like that was the 4x10 cabinet, and then it had a separate amp head, and it sounded really cool, and I liked it a lot, but it just took up space in my house, and I gave it away years and years ago. I mean, probably like 15 years ago on this website called Free Cycle. I gave it to a guy who was going to use it for his church group or something like that because he played bass or guitar in church, whatever it was.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, yeah, okay, you can have it. But almost immediately, I was like, why did I give that away? That had such a cool sound, and it was so versatile, and it was great. So I almost felt like in an incremental way, is the universe giving back what I've given? Is it karma? I gave an amp away when it was taking up too much space, but now I'm getting this other slightly too bulky amp that sounds kind of cool, and it'll be fun to record with. That was Everyone by Junior Maz Collective. We heard an acoustic version of that a while back, a couple weeks ago. I think I played it twice. Acoustic demo version of that song. Finally, I'm playing the actual released version. Pretty cool tune. You can look for that one on Spotify, all the streaming services. It's available. It's out now. Before that, I was chatting with Brian Lambert about music, about a bass amp that I found in the trash. Always a bonus when you can find a bass amp in someone's trash. Or even just the cabinet. Bass cabinet with a speaker. That's a find. Interspersed in all that, we also had some Scoopski. Played his song Double. Rumor has it he has a new single out. And another rumor is that we may be playing it later this hour. So stick around. We have plenty of Tweetcore music to get to, including these songs. And before I play them, I'm going to ask, what do these next 4 songs have in common? So put your thinking caps on, sit back, enjoy the music, right here on the Tweetcore Radio Hour.
I thought I could make this stop with more time. It's not right. Don't make this hard. I'm not always disbelieve me. Honest tomorrow, you leave me sober and bleeding. I've seen tomorrow, you leading. Take some time and let's rewind. It's not all we thought it'd be, but at least we know that I can feel what's left of me for you. Always disbelieve me. Honest tomorrow, you leave me sober and bleeding. I've seen tomorrow, you're needing more. Always disbelieve me. Honest tomorrow, you leave me sober and bleeding. I've seen tomorrow, you're
Yo, what they reckon? Time to read a track like my weapon. Brother, other down, I will for it the second. The stage beckon. Furthermore, bro, I'm sure I see where the door's heading. Time spent on a graft, heavy sweating. I've been fettling just to bring the cheddar in, that's the struggle. Trying to find the peas in the rubble. We wanted peace, they brought trouble. So if you're bursting my bubble, I leave your face printed on my shovel. Your boy be seating double. Fresh out of the dirt, man, I'm filling up your boots. So from the underground, I'm stepping up out of the roots. My ends where the shop front shattered. Heads with spice packets. Stocking bottles with teenage addicts and bad habits. Still we make good times from day up. Why did you be back on the fire? Man, it better not say nothing. One of my northern behaviour, I better not say nothing. If they won't see it later, I better not say nothing. Yeah, they ain't never done a labour. Man, they don't say, you say, you don't say, you say, you don't say. Let's make a move. Clear the track, big wax are coming through. Been overdue, a little northern attitude. Son, now I ain't sorry if I'm stepping on your shoes. It's the 6 foot smoking set record. Wax forever. They do it well, but we do it better. We run them out. You listen up, we're born down south, but our brains getting out for now. So check it. Yo, yeah, man, they know what we stand up for. Always ready for the storm, cause it's grim up north. Man, the sky's never clear. It's rugged over here. We the roots of loving over here. Man, they better not say nothing. One of my northern behaviour, I better not say nothing. sky's never clear. It's rugged over here. We come from self-loving over here. And you better say nothing. Well, when I know the behavior, then you'll say nothing. If you won't say it later, then you'll say nothing. You ain't never done a labor, but I don't say, you say you don't say, you say you don't say.
be forgotten, I will cloak myself in sorrow, hide myself and I'm invisible. I'm invisible. I'm invisible. When I want to be your lover, I will clothe myself in armor, arm myself and I'm invincible. I'm invincible. I'm invincible. Propaganda keeping us together. Propaganda, the lies that we tell each other. Propaganda, tell me what I need to hear. Propaganda, we are all actors. Unbecoming, I will run from my tomorrows, decline all your invitations. Your invitation. Your invitation. Propaganda keeping us together. Propaganda, the lies that we tell each other. Propaganda, tell me what I need to hear. Propaganda, we are all actors. When my time is at a premium, I will live at my convenience. I will bury my impatience. Bury my impatience. My impatience. And I will love you till the end of time. And I will take you everywhere you want to go, and I will hold your hand while you sleep. We'll be here until you go.
Few cool songs there, 4 to be exact, and if you'll recall, just before I start playing them, I asked, what do they have in common? But before I reveal the answer to that, I'm going to let you know what they were. That first song was called Leaving by a band called Gres, A-U-G-R-E-S, 2 words, A-U-G-R-E-S. A-U, the chemical symbol for gold, I might add. Might make it easier to remember, I don't know, maybe. After Leaving, we had Northern Behaviour by DeadWax, all one word, DeadWax, but the W's a capital. One of those instances where they stick a capital letter in the middle of a word just to keep you on your toes. DeadWax is the name of that band. And after DeadWax, we had gimbal.lock. This time around, a little tricky in the middle. Once again, gimbal.lock, one word, but there's a period between the L in gimbal and the L in lock, and it's all lowercase. So really keeping us on our toes with these band names these days. Oh, and I should also mention gimbal is spelled G-I-M-B-A-L. So it's G-I-M-B-A-L.L-O-C-K. That song was called Fantasy. Now, in case you're wondering, and I'm sure you are, a gimbal is a ring that rotates on an axis. And you can have gimbals within gimbals so that you can have multiple rotations going on multiple axes all at the same time. Now, gimbal lock can occur when 2 of the 3 gimbals in a 3-gimbal system are driven into parallel positions with one another, and that can cause, or restrict rather, the gimbals into moving in 2-dimensional space rather than their usual 3-dimensional space. Which really explains a lot about that song you just heard, as you can well imagine. Again, that was Fantasy by Gimbal.lock, and there was a fourth song in there as well. That fourth song was called Manifesto by Tim Eveleigh. I believe his name is pronounced. It's Eveleigh. And that is from his album A Record, which you can find on Bandcamp. And I also have an interview with him coming up on my blog in the very near future, so keep an eye out for that one. Now, at this point, I'm sure you're wondering, you're saying to yourself, those songs were very different from each other. They were indeed an interesting mixed bag, if you will, of music. Perhaps an eclectic group of songs. And that might give you a hint as to what they actually have in common. Because therein lies the clue. Yes, indeed. I did discover all 4 of those songs on the Eclectic Music Lover blog. And if you have not checked out the Eclectic Music Lover blog yet, I really, really suggest that you do. It's a great blog, always alerting me to really interesting new music. Plus, blogger Jeff Archuleta, who maintains the blog, always does a really good weekly top 30 list. Definitely worth checking out. You can find that at eclecticmusiclover.com. Up next, a tune by a band called Lifter. Here's their latest single, Deep is the Dark of the Night.
Would you wait, stay inside? We talk but it never helps. Makes it worse. Deep is the dark of the night. There's a pain in here, working all overtime. I can never go, I can never stay. It's one of those nights. Summer in a cold breeze. I can never go, I can never stay. It's one of those nights. Summer in a cold breeze. Makes you wanna stay out with the lights and the clouds. There's a beating in here. Deep is the dark of the night. Shady corners of the house. Staying up with the withering day. With the light from next door. Tall trees out back. They keep us in check. With the very moon. It's one of those nights. Summer in a cold rays. When you want to stay out. With the light through the clouds and the strawberry moon. Should we wait, stay inside? We talk but it never helps. Makes it worse. Oh, I can never go, I can never stay. It's one of those nights. Summer in a cold breeze. I can never go, I can never stay. It's one of those nights. Summer in a cold breeze. You wanna stay out with the light and the clouds. need to wonder if my love for you will wane. I'll stay with you and keep you sane. I always wonder what you ever saw in me. Always thought that you'd want to break on free. I still wonder why you stayed with me so long. I'm so glad I was so wrong. I don't need to wonder if my love for you will wane. I'll stay with you and keep you sane. Can we now wonder what the future holds for us? Every day with you is a very special plus. We can wonder if our life would be the same, but it's only you I need in this game. You don't need to wonder if my love for you will wane. I'll stay with you and keep you sane. You don't need to wonder if my love for you will wane. I'll stay with you and keep you sane.
That's a cool tune from Mikey J, our good friend Mikey J. The album is out this weekend. The album is called Wondering, and the song is called Wonder. And it's a pretty cool album. I got a little bit of a sneak preview of that one. We'll probably be playing more tracks from that album in the very near future. Look for that one on Bandcamp. It's available this Friday. And before Mikey J, we heard a song by a band called Lifter. That song was called Deep is the Dark of the Night. Up next, track from the new Neither Could Dylan album. The album is called Acceptance. This song is called Tapes.
A lot of them said it don't work out. What's that of
Cool tune there from Neither Could Dylan. The song is called Tapes. Once again, that is from the album Acceptance. Great photo on the album. I believe it's Jamie Jacobsack's dog. Jamie is the brains behind Neither Could Dylan, as you probably recall. I've mentioned her before. And I will add, good use of feedback on that one. I love when an artist can use feedback in a song, give a song a bit of depth and a sense of space. Once again, the song is called Tapes. It's on the album Acceptance by Neither Could Dylan. Look for that one on Bandcamp. And I think that's about it for the show. I don't remember. I think that's all the music I have to play. Oh, hang on, wait a second. I have one more song. I can't believe I almost forgot. I promised I'd play the latest from Scoopski, so hey, here it is. I Agree, Marie.
You're breaking down, it's gone from bad to worse. But at least you've got that extra purse. Everyone needs a little thrill in their life.
Oh, the best thing for your mental health is to take whatever you need right off the shelf.
I agree, Marie. Purple fits the world perfectly. No need to be green with envy. People cope in their own ways. Say this to yourself. What's to miss if no one knows what's missing?
I saw you anyway.
He's gone for good. The past is in the past. So clutch the pearls, keep braiding all the gold racks. Your family called you the unstable one.
But compared to them, you're an angel for sure. Your petty little offenses can be ignored.
I agree, Marie. Purple fits the world perfectly. No need to be green with envy. People cope in their own ways. Say this to yourself. What's to miss if no one knows what's missing?
I saw you anyway.
You've got spoons and shoes aplenty, tiaras and trinkets galore. You have no receipts to show.
But hey, who's keeping score?
Please don't undersell yourself. Your heart's just never full. A useless rock to walk for sale.
Is your precious mineral?
You've got enough treasure to fill another verse, but suddenly it feels like someone stole the words. I agree, Marie. Purple fits the world perfectly. No need to be green with envy. People cope in their own ways. Say this to yourself. What's to miss if no one knows what's missing? What's to miss if no one knows what's missing?
I saw you anyway.
What's to miss if no one knows what's missing?
Tweetcore.